Hello, friends. My name is Jake Montanez, and this is my self-publishing vlog where I'm documenting my journey to getting a book self-published. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the curse. So, what is the curse? I don't really know. That's just what I call it. I wanted to talk about reasons why I don't just sit and write a million books in a year, and that's probably because of a couple of things. One of them being the costs that are involved with trying to get self-published, which I would expect over time if I do become more prolific at writing, those costs would kind of diminish as I start getting greater returns from having more books out there that can provide some sort of stable income and self-perpetuate itself. And the other thing is the cost of book covers and illustrations and things like that are also involved. The rest of it's actually pretty easy to do. I don't really have a hard time writing things when I sit down to do them. The hardest part, honestly, is what really is the curse is self-motivation, trying to find that inner gusto to get going. I've got several different concepts for stories that I would like to write, and it's all about feeling like I have the energy at the end of the day or on the weekends to sit down there and write. Now, I've got a lot of different ideas that are percolating in the background. One of them is a story that I've been mentally developing for, like 14 years now, ever since about the halfway point of my time in the Navy, which is a very interesting multi-temporal concept. It follows the course of one character's life over several thousand years, and there's a reason why he lives that long. And it was something I've been playing about with ever since the days that I was writing for Beyond Dominia, and I had this character named Elro here, which is a name I took from Lord of the Rings, but he was like my player character on the War Mill on the website that they had, where we wrote all of our different stories, and I know I've talked about that in one of my previous videos. And in that story, he was trapped in a tower on this frozen planet, and part of his story was trying to complete something called the World Spell. And I had no idea what I was talking about at that time. Right? I was just coming up with shit out of my little brain of mine back then and trying to figure out what he wanted to do. But the kernel of that was that the world had been distorted or corrupted by excessive magic use and had gone into a super deep freeze. And I wanted to really build and extrapolate on that. And so it's just been percolating in my head. And I thought it would be a very interesting twist that this character, I'm not going to call him Elro here in the next story, but he's the seed character, okay, the seed of the concept. He was going to be the protagonist and his own antagonist, and I wanted to see how I could play that out. But in order for me to do that, I would have to release all three of those books simultaneously, because they could theoretically be written in read in any order. There might even be a fourth book. I haven't quite decided if I want to throw that in there, but I do have concepts for each of those three that are going to go along with it. So I wanted to put all those together, but I haven't found the time personally to do that, and I don't know why I didn't just start with that with NaNoWriMo. I went off on a tangent with the World of Warcraft fake side character thing, but that's one that's just been sitting in the back of my head. It's just been waiting and waiting and waiting. Other stuff that I've come up with, I'm not, like I said, super prolific. I'm very when I say that I like to write, I'm not a person that sits down and just writes these reams and reams and reams of stories. I need to know where the story is going to go and allow the story to build as I'm writing it. So it's a creation process, and I just need to have those nuggets and those kernels to start popping in my head. And once they start going, they go. Another one that's been popping up a lot lately has been quantum, what was it called? See, the ideas escape me. Quantum immortality, where a character or a person dies in the reality that they're in, and their consciousness skews over to a new reality where they escaped the situation that killed them, and they continue on there. But in that original timeline, they have passed away. They got in a car accident. They ate something and choked to death. They were mugged in an alleyway, whatever the case may be. And I thought it would be an interesting thing if there was an external entity kind of like studying this scientifically and seeing, tracking the progress of a particular person as they go through life, possibly even causing those situations where the person dies in whatever case that it may be. And I thought that would be an interesting concept to run with. Having all of these ideas doesn't really help when I know I'm just going to be on the back end trying to wait on an editor and get things edited. And another part of that curse is like I can flip things around, write all these stories, just immediately self-publish them. I think that my skill level, and this is me being egotistical or whatever, I think my skill level is probably high enough that I could mostly get by without having an editor. But the other egotistical part is I don't want it to come out and actually be a piece of crap and people not want to read it. And in any case, I'm going to have to market the hell out of whatever books I write. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes along with it. So that's why I'm doing this YouTube channel and this TikTok channel and Instagram and whatever the heck else I'm sharing this on, in order to get word out of the things that I'm writing and how I'm writing and what my process is, in hopes of garnering some small snippet of interest so that when the books do start coming out, there will be a very small, tiny amount of audience available. But it will grow. I'm sure of that. It's just a matter of time. And writing as much as I can in the long run, I think would probably be detrimental to process and dilute what I've got going on in the interim. Also, I work a full-time job, so it's my crutch. I admit that, to say that I'm tired when I'm done working after a work week. It's not something super strenuous. I sit at a computer all day long. The last thing I want to do really after I've been sitting at a computer for 14 hours a day for 3 or 4 days a week is to come home and sit in front of a computer for several hours a day and do more writing, if that makes any sense. So a lot of stuff that goes along with why I'm not as productive as I would like to be. And that is the curse. If you can relate to this situation, by all means, tell me about it. Let me know how things are going. If you like following my journey, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching, and have a nice day.